Hannah Hamilton's Horrid Hullabaloo by Mary Annie Husler. This series is dedicated to all the wonderful Hewitt girls I was privileged to teach, with a special thanks to Savannah Rosen for her invaluable help. Chapter 3, The Protector. It wasn't necessary to pry open the front door of 13 Morning Glory Lane. Hannah knew now all she had to do was merely walk through it. At first, Hannah found this sensation liberating. She sailed down the street, vanishing through trees and poles and cars, and even one elderly man who was walking his poodle. The man stopped, gazed open-mouthed into the air, clutched his heart, and began to tremble. Hannah watched his silver hair stand on end, and his face change from ruby red to winter white. As she left, the man collapsed on a ledge. Hannah hoped she hadn't given him a heart attack. He might not have known what caused his symptoms, but his dog surely did. He wouldn't stop barking and growling. She was in the center of town now, and she knew that it was Saturday. She spotted Dylan and Taylor with Paula and Kelly, heading for the movie theater. For 1 second, Hannah debated on going inside with them. It was a vampire movie they had all been looking forward to seeing. But somehow that desire had vanished from Hannah's wish list. The desire, however, was replaced by something else. Anger. Here were her friends, going on with their own lives, enjoying movies, and probably stopping for ice cream afterwards, and then to someone's house to joke around and play on the computer, while Hannah was dead. Didn't they even care? Something flashed through Hannah's mind so quickly that she couldn't quite catch it. An argument she had with her 2 best friends, angry words being exchanged. Were they still mad at her for some unfathomable reason which could hardly matter now? Well, she knew what she could do. She could go into the movie theater and sit on their laps and throw their popcorn at the screen and pull on their ponytails. And while Hannah was thinking of the havoc she could render, great drops of rain began to beat down. Everyone scrambled inside, including her friends, wrapping their colorful hoodies around them. Hannah floated on. She slid by the church, her church, St. Jude's, and while she lingered just a bit, she noticed a black limousine parked in front. Then she saw a group of men hauling a coffin, which gave her a funny feeling, but very different from the sort of feeling she might have had if she hadn't been a ghost. This feeling was empty, hollow, unnatural. Then, from the corner of her eye, she spotted a lady with short, snow-white, tightly curled hair, and 2 large, ruby-colored earrings, wearing a dirty powder blue bathrobe and pale pink socks with 3 holes in each one, hover over the coffin with a look of sour disapproval upon her very white face. It took Hannah a while to realize the scowl was aimed at her. Hannah asked her what was wrong, although Hannah came right out and spoke, and she knew the woman had heard her, because the woman answered. Hannah never actually heard the words herself. You, she pointed a long, bony finger at Hannah. You are in a lot of trouble. I'm dead, Hannah said. How much trouble can I be in? Someone wants you gone, she said coldly. And then, just like that, she was gone, evaporated into the air. Hannah lingered for a moment or 2 before drifting back to the convent. She went through the door and proceeded into the dingy, deserted hall. Where were the other children, and how would she go about finding them? She decided to explore, although what the woman had said unnerved her. Someone wanted her gone. Wasn't she already gone? What terrible ordeals could befall a ghost? She couldn't eat. She didn't care about playing video games or watching Netflix, and she couldn't interact with the people she loved. She heard a swishing at the top of the stairs. She looked up and saw a woman dressed in a nun's habit. The nun had a long, wrinkly face with sunken cheeks and a wide, crooked nose. One of her eyes were bright blue, the other eye, much smaller, a watery brown. She glided down the staircase and stood in front of Hannah. Would you follow me, please? Hannah wondered what the nun would do if Hannah refused. But of course Hannah wouldn't refuse. It wasn't as though she had someplace else to be. She followed the nun to a small space, which at one time might have been an office of some sort. She had no desire to sit down, and neither did the nun. "Let me introduce myself," she said, and her one blue eye glittered. "I'm Sister Maria Constance. You might wonder what I'm doing here." Actually, Hannah was not wondering any such thing. "You probably know about the terrible fire in the school. Most of the children you'll meet are the spirits of those unfortunate students who perished. At the time of the fire, I was Mother Superior, and now I try my best to keep order." She laughed a little, a funny noise, like a mouse being stepped on. "You have a lot to learn, Hannah." "Learn? I have to learn? I thought when you were dead you went to a beautiful place where the sun was always shining, where a cool ocean breeze blew, and there were flowers everywhere, and you got to eat chocolate all day and ride roller coasters and watch movies." "Oh, Hannah, you're not ready for that. You have much to do." "I don't want to do anything," Hannah was insistent. "I am done with doing." "Of course," Sister said softly, "that's your choice. But if you don't follow my advice, you may be earthbound for some time." "Oh, I can tell by your expression that you have a lot of questions." "Right now I only have one. Coming here, I saw another ghost, a lady who died." "Oh, you'll see ghosts all the time." "This woman told me I was in trouble, that there is someone who wants me gone." Sister Maria Constance said nothing. "Can that be true?" "I'm afraid it is," Sister said. "I don't understand any of this," Hannah said as a prickle of irritation shot through her. "How could someone hate me so much they would want to hurt me? I haven't made any enemies. No one dead really knows me except my grandparents, and they claim to love me. And how could someone dead hurt me anyway?" Sister shook her head. "That's where you're so wrong. Everyone here knows you, and even ghosts can be hurt. I think it's time for you to meet the others." Sister actually took Hannah by the hand. Hannah soared through the high-ceiling building, trying not to crash into the chandeliers where cobwebs swirl like ribbons. From above, she spotted pictures of Jesus and Mary and the saints hanging vicariously on the sagging and swollen walls. She sailed through what might have been a living room, with an odd-looking television housed in a cabinet and a ratty-looking sofa grouped around it. She leaped through a library with books reaching to the ceilings. She did crash through the bookcase, but it didn't hurt, and rather gave her a rather odd feeling, like a stomachache when one has eaten too many candy kisses. She breezed through the kitchen where two huge gas stoves stood like sentinels along a deep freezer. She glided through the chapel with its broken pews and crooked altar, and she spotted a mirror of ghosts milling around the chipped statues. She flew through the laundry room full of old-fashioned wringers and threadbare clotheslines hung across the wall from one end to the other. Then she found herself in the other part of the building, which she knew was the school, the burnt-out school. A number of classrooms lined the halls. She saw broken and blackened desks, shattered chalkboards, decapitated statues, and a cloakroom with ripped and dirty school coats. Suddenly, they stopped into a vast room which was missing an entire wall. The wind rattled through the space and the rain wet the floor. Hannah noticed the children, ghosts, silvery white and slightly transparent, sitting around in a circle, babbling. She couldn't understand what was being said, but she was able to hear some of the words. Powerful, jealous, choosing sides, teaching, danger. No one was really looking at her, and then all of a sudden they were all looking at her. There must have been at least 20 of them, all eyeing her with curiosity. The large boy with the blistered face that she had met, "Was it today? Was there any time at all when you were dead?" stepped forward. "Welcome, Hannah, to your new home." And all Hannah could think of was, "No way."